I never thought I would be afraid to touch myself, but that's exactly what happened. One evening, standing in front of the bathroom mirror, I tried to force myself to run my hand over my skin, just to feel alive. But my fingers froze, as if hitting an invisible wall. I looked at my reflection, the wrinkles that told the story of years lived, the body that was no longer what it once was. And suddenly, I was overcome with fear that I no longer felt like a woman. The divorce left deep scars. 5 years had passed, but sometimes it felt like it happened yesterday. I remembered him saying, "We're not who we used to be." His words still echoed in my head, a reminder that I was no longer desired, no longer needed. Sometimes I even thought he was right. Could anyone see me as a woman and not just someone with a past? My friends would say, "You're still young, you'll find someone." But I didn't believe it. If I couldn't even bring myself to touch myself, how could anyone else? My bed, which had once been a place of warmth and intimacy, now felt like a void. I had even stopped watching romantic movies. They triggered something akin to pain, a pain I didn't want to feel. But one day, something changed. It was an ordinary day, an ordinary meeting at a cafe. I didn't expect that this encounter would be the start of something new, the start of something that would make me feel alive again. His name was Mark. We met at the cafe where I often spent time after work. That day wasn't special, just an ordinary autumn evening, with leaves swirling outside and the smell of freshly brewed coffee filling the air. He was sitting at the next table, reading a book. His gaze accidentally met mine, and he smiled. Not forced, not formal, just genuine. That smile made me feel something I had long forgotten. Something warm, something alive. We started talking, first about the book he was reading, then about coffee, the weather, life. It turned out he was also divorced. His story was similar to mine. Years together, then disappointment, loneliness. But he spoke about it without bitterness, as if he had accepted the past as part of his journey. His calmness and sincerity struck me. We started meeting more often. At first, it was just coffee and conversations. Then, walks in the park, with the autumn sun turning the leaves golden and the air crisp and fresh. With him, I felt light, as if the weight of the past was slowly fading. He didn't try to hide anything, didn't play roles. He was genuine, and that attracted me, but I was still afraid. Afraid to get closer, to allow myself to feel something more. One evening, as we sat on a bench by the lake, he took my hand in his. His touch was gentle, but it made me shiver. I felt my heart beat faster, and a thought flashed through my mind. What if I make a mistake again? What if I can't open up? He didn't say anything, just held my hand, as if giving me time. And in that moment, I realized I wanted to try. I wanted to feel alive again, to allow myself to be happy. But the fear was still there, deep inside, like a shadow waiting for its moment. A few weeks had passed since I met Mark. During that time, we had grown closer, but I still felt like I was on the edge. His presence in my life was like a ray of sunshine breaking through the clouds, but I was afraid the clouds would return. What if I opened my heart again, only to have it broken? What if I couldn't give him what he deserved? One evening, he invited me to his place. We cooked dinner together, something new, something I hadn't done in years. I laughed as he tried to peel potatoes and accidentally sent a piece into the sink. He joked that the kitchen wasn't his forte, but his efforts were sweet and sincere. We sat at the table, sharing the dishes we had made, and talked about everything. In that moment, I felt something shift. Something inside me began to melt. After dinner, we moved to the living room. He put on soft music, and we sat on the couch. The air around us felt thick, as if every movement, every word, carried more weight than usual. He hugged me, and I felt his warmth slowly spreading through my body. His hands were strong but gentle, and I felt my body begin to relax. "You know," he said quietly, "I haven't felt this calm in a long time, not since I've been with you." His words made my heart beat faster. I wanted to respond, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I just nodded, trying to hide my emotions. He looked at me, and in his eyes, I saw something that surprised me. a tenderness that came from deep within. He leaned in, and our lips met. The kiss was soft, slow, as if he wanted to give me time to adjust, to feel. I felt my body respond, as if waking from a long sleep. His hand slid down my back, and I felt my skin come alive under his touch. But suddenly, the fear returned. I felt my body tense, my heart racing. I thought. What if I can't give him what he wants? What if I'm not who I used to be? He noticed my tension and pulled back, looking into my eyes. "It's okay," he said softly. "We're in no rush." His words brought me relief, but also shame. I wanted to be strong, to show him I was ready, but the fear was stronger. We spent the rest of the evening talking. He told me about his fears, about how hard it had been for him after the divorce. And then I realized we were both on the same path. We were both searching for something we had lost, and maybe, just maybe, we could find it together. As I walked home that evening, I felt a mix of emotions, fear, hope, desire, all intertwined within me. I knew something had changed, something important, and I knew that the next time we met, I would be ready to take a step forward. The next time we met, I felt different. Something inside me had shifted after that evening at his place. I no longer wanted to run from my emotions, from my desires. I wanted to finally feel alive. And I knew that Mark was someone I could trust. He invited me for a walk in the park. It was a warm autumn day, and the leaves rustled under our feet as if whispering something important. We walked side by side, and his hand occasionally brushed against mine, reminding me he was there. I felt my heart beating faster, but this time it wasn't from fear, it was from anticipation. When we reached a bench by the lake, he sat down and took my hand in his. His touch was warm and confident. "You know," he said, "I've been thinking about what you said last time, about how you're afraid." I looked at him, surprised. I didn't remember saying it out loud, but my eyes must have given me away. He smiled. "You're not alone in this. I'm afraid too. But sometimes you just have to take a step forward, even if it's scary." His words made me feel like I wasn't alone, that we were both on the same path, and that we could support each other. I nodded, trying to hold back the tears that welled up in my eyes. He hugged me, and I felt his warmth envelop me, as if protecting me from the world. When we returned to his place, I felt calmer. We sat on the couch, and he hugged me again. This time, I didn't tense up. I felt my body relax, as if shedding the weight of the past. He began to kiss me, first softly, then more passionately. His hand slid down my back, and I felt my skin come alive under his touch. I responded to him, trying not to think about the fear that still lingered somewhere deep inside. I wanted to be here, in this moment, to feel it fully. When he started unbuttoning my blouse, I felt my body responding to his touch. His hands were warm, his lips soft. I felt my heart beating faster, my breath deepening. When we ended up in bed, I felt my body come alive. His touch was gentle but confident, and I felt my skin responding to every movement. I felt my body opening up, like a flower blooming under the sun. And in that moment, I realized I could still feel passion, that I could still be desired. When it was over, I lay next to him, feeling his warmth. I felt calm and happy, as if I had found something I had been searching for. He hugged me, and I felt his heart beating next to mine. "Thank you," I whispered. "Thank you for being here." He smiled and kissed my forehead. "You're not alone," he said. "And together, we'll find what we're looking for." When I woke up the next morning, I felt different. The light streaming through the curtains seemed brighter, the air fresher. I lay next to Mark, listening to his steady breathing, and felt something inside me had changed. The fear that had lived in my soul for so long seemed lighter. In its place was hope, hope that I could be happy, that I could love and be loved. He woke up and smiled at me. "Good morning," he said softly, hugging me. "How are you feeling?" His words made me smile. I felt alive. Yes, that's it. If before I had been existing, now I was living. And it was incredible. We spent the morning together, making breakfast and talking about everything. His laughter, his gaze, his touch. It all felt so natural, so right. I felt like I had found what I had been searching for so long. Not just a person, but a part of myself I had lost. After breakfast, we went for a walk. The autumn sun was warm, and the air was filled with the scent of fallen leaves. We walked side by side, his hand holding mine. I felt my heart filling with warmth. "You know," I said, "I haven't felt this light in a long time." He smiled and pulled me closer. "Me neither," he replied. "You've changed my life." We stopped by the lake, and I looked at the water shimmering under the sunlight. I felt my past slowly fading, like clouds dispersing. I was no longer the woman who was afraid to touch herself. I was different, stronger, more confident, happier. When we returned home, I felt my life taking on new colors. We planned our next meetings, our trips, our dreams. And I felt that this was just the beginning of something new, something beautiful. That evening, as we sat on the couch, I felt my body relaxing under his touch. His hands were warm, his lips soft. I felt my heart beating faster, my breath deepening. And in that moment, I realized I could still feel passion, that I could still be desired,